Hello fellow YouTubers, this is Divine Scorpio coming back to you again with another video. I want to talk a little bit about this new law that has been enacted through the legislature in Indiana that involves the police and ordinary citizens. I found this video clip on the internet and I want to show it to you real quick. Then I'm going to give a few of my thoughts on this subject. Check this out.
It is the first law of its kind. Citizens allowed to shoot police officers who trespass illegally.
Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano is here to break down the new rule. All right, this is going to take place in Indiana.
It is.
What is it?
Well, it's a law that allows people who lawfully own weapons to use those weapons against the police when the police are behaving illegally. For example, police attempting to arrest someone without an arrest warrant, police entering property without a search warrant, police coming into the wrong property, or police actually committing a crime. Now, this was generated by a horrific case in Indiana where the police broke down the wrong door and arrested the wrong person, and he kept trying to say to me, "I'm not the guy you want, it's next door," and the more he resisted, the more they pummeled him.
That sounds like the Texas law.
Texas also has a statute that if, for example, they're after Brian Kilmeade, but they arrest Steve Doocy, and he goes, "I'm Doocy, I'm not Kilmeade."
Easy to confuse the two.
Easy to confuse the two. Doocy can, in Texas, Doocy can use force to resist
because
the police.
I'm not the guy you came to get.
Correct.
I'm confused. So if the cops break down your house and you know that you've done nothing wrong, you can shoot them?
Yes. In the state of Indiana, yes. Well,
what if they have a warrant? If they have a warrant.
If they have a warrant, you cannot. So, look, the burden is on you to do the right thing. If you're not sure whether or not they have the warrant, obviously you can't use the weapon. You can't use the weapon to escape from lawful confinement. You can't use the weapon to initiate a crime. You can't initiate the confrontation
There's a lot of small print here.
with the police.
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Well, this was enacted by the legislature and signed by Governor Mitch Daniels.
But why?
Because of this case in Indiana that received tremendous publicity where the police went to the wrong house and beat up the wrong person, and he attempted to resist, and then he sued the police, and he lost the lawsuit.
Isn't there a big leap from that to being able to shoot the police?
Well, as we were talking earlier, the state of Texas has had a statute where you can shoot the police, and people generally don't do it because the police are a little bit more careful because they know the homeowner may be legally armed as they are.
That's interesting. So where do you fall on this?
I'm in favor of the statute. I think it will lessen the tension between police and law-abiding citizens, and the example is Texas.
Let's just hope more cops don't get shot.
Correct. Nobody wants anybody to get shot, but nobody wants the police to break down the wrong door or to commit crime in the name of being a police officer.
Right, and that is now the law in Indiana.
Yes, it is.
Judge,
I don't think it's coming to New Jersey.
And we were talking about Texas as well. You were there yesterday. All right, Judge, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure, guys.
Now, in my heart and in the hearts of a lot of black people would probably say that this is a damn good thing.
Dynamite!
Hell yeah. This is a law that should be enacted in every state in the union because the police, all the way up until this day, have literally raped, murdered, and tortured black people ever since the police departments have been established in the United States. And not only that, cops have a very strong motivation to become bad cops because of the system that they operate under. Their promotions are determined by how good their service record looks. And what makes their service records look good is the amount of arrests that they get, and felonies are their bread and butter. So the more arrests that they get, the more promotions that they get. The more promotions they get, the more money they make. So there's no telling how many brothers out there have been framed or being railroaded by being given more severe charges for petty crimes by bad cops trying to move up in the department off the backs of black people. And even with the police being caught on video murdering young black men in cold blood, somehow they are still able to get away with it. And the only thing that black people have been able to do is go out and protest and riot in order to try to get justice behind these crimes that the police have committed against our people. Now, whether or not some of these protests were warranted, debatable. But a law like this would finally give black people leverage to be able to protect themselves from the brutalization of the police. And not only that, with all of these false flag attacks that the government is perpetrating against its citizens to try to achieve the agenda of taking away our guns, a law like this would make all citizens feel a little bit safer, because it would keep the government from trying to achieve the agenda of the New World Order. So a law like this overall would be good for everybody. Now, on the other hand, this is telling me that this is something that can be very bad for the black community, because the black community has a lot of unsavory people in it. And these unsavory people quite possibly could start taking pot shots at cops just because they don't like them. And they can say that the cop was doing something wrong, when in reality he was just doing his job. And whether the police are right or wrong in that situation, they are going to defend their position. And cops always look out for other cops, even if they have to lie for them. So a situation like that could lead to a shootout between an ordinary citizen and the police. And the end result could be a brother wind up dead or in jail because he was trying to defend his position of being right over the police. Now, a lot of cops are already a bunch of punks and cowards, and they are scared to get into confrontations with people in the black community. That's why the first thing they'll do when they get into a confrontation with a black man is pull out their gun and start shooting. And with a law like this in place, knowing that they could get shot at even if they are in the right, that would make them even more fearful of being able to do their job effectively in the black community. And police response times to trouble calls would become flat out horrible, because they would not want to budge from their donut shops, because they would have to sit around and wait for about 6 or 7 other cops to back them up in order to go out on this trouble call. And they would also get to the point where they would feel like they would need a SWAT team to back them up just to go and arrest somebody that got a warrant out on them for something as petty as a brother being behind on child support payments. On a personal note, I got a love-hate relationship going on with the police. I do love the fact that we have police in our communities, because in all reality, it really is needed, because we got quite a few fools in our community that need to be locked up. But on the other hand, I hate them because of all of the atrocities that they have put upon our people, and me in particular. But the reasoning behind why all of this has happened to us behind the police is because it is part of our curse. Us Israelites, who are the true Jews that the Bible speaks of, predicted that this would happen. I'm going to read a couple of scriptures out the Bible and break them down. The first scripture I want to read is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now, when we were given these laws, statutes, and commandments that you can read in the chapter of Leviticus, the Israelites pretty much did away with those laws, and they just ignored them. And because we ignored them and are still ignoring them, we have been cursed all the way up until this day. And one of these curses is in the scripture I'm going to read next, which which is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron around thy neck until he have destroyed thee. In other words, everything that we need to survive, we have to get from our enemies. We have to get our food from them, our water, our clothes. And in that scripture, it says, in want of all things, meaning if we want to purchase a house or a car or anything that we cannot purchase in cash and have to take a loan out for, we have to go to their banks in order to get loans, and we have to pay them back with interest. And that yoke of iron around our necks that they put on us when they first brought us over here and enslaved us is now being put around our wrists. But with a law like this in place in every state of the union, it quite possibly could finally give black people an even playing field when it comes to the police. Now, the only way for us to know if this would be a good thing or a bad thing for the black community is for us to watch this in Indiana and see if any police corruption is deterred in any type of way. And if this does turn out to be a good thing, then collectively, us as black people need to go to our state legislators and pressure them into getting a law like this enacted in every state of the union. So let's keep our eyes on this and hope for the best. And if you're watching this video, talk to people about this. We need to try and get as many people as we possibly can aware of this law, and this can get the ball rolling for us to finally start to feel safe against police corruption. If you like the content in this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you can see any videos that I'll be uploading in the future. And check out my channel. I got a few other videos on there I think you might like too if you like this one. And with that being said,
I am number one.